Hello. Oh, you know what? I think I need to refresh the chat. Whoop. There we go. Yeah, Marcata, I think you're the first here. Congratulations. You win nothing. You win my regard. Okay. Ba-da-da-da. So, I guess we're just sort of forcing ourselves into the house faction, since these guys can go fuck themselves. It's fine with me. My principles as a Fallout protagonist are thin at best. Certainly compromisable.
I do wish you'd come and met with me at the Lucky 38 when you first arrived on the Strip. Or after you killed Benny, even.
Sorry, buddy.
Quite an honor.
Told me to get rid of my friends.
My invite. You would be the first person to set foot inside the Lucky 38 in over 200 years.
Hi, Gunbraid.
But you still wound up here, right where I wanted you. I knew I could rely on Caesar to return the platinum chip to you.
Da-da-da-da. Caesar wants me to destroy this place. Yeah, say who are you exactly?
Surely you know that I am Robert Edwin House, President, CEO, and sole proprietor of the new Vegas Strip.
It's the perfect way to to introduce yourself to anybody who clearly thinks very highly of themselves. Who are you exactly? Remind me who you are.
I oversaw the city's renovations starting from 2274 onward. The 3 families are my employees.
Texas going crazy right now. Yeah, everybody everybody say a fucking prayer to the Texas State House members. They're literally on the run. So we'll see how far this goes. They're doing the right thing. You know, like, this is exactly what they should be doing. I just don't, like, we've been like, I don't know, it's like spooky to talk about, but we've been like on the verge of some kind of open conflict, some kind of civil war type conflict for several years. Like, that's what we've been building up to. It's like there's no situation. Hi, Carlos. There's no situation that I can envision where shut up, Hampton, where the Republicans just like back down quietly. You know, are you fucking kidding me? Their entire purpose for existing right now is to consolidate as much power as possible through the power of plausible deniability, you know, and just lying and saying that, oh no, it's not illegal because of this and that. I mean, with this case, it's like, let's see, Heather Cox Richardson quoted somebody in her newsletter last night. Let's see what it was. It's not even like they're getting like bolder. They're getting more explicit about the goals here. Shit, where is it? Oh yeah. Republican State Representative Cody Bassett, I want to say, was on NBC News yesterday and said This map was politically based, and that's totally legal, totally allowed, and totally fair. It's not legal, it's not allowed, and even if it were, I mean, it may through some kind of loophole. That's how this administration functions. It's certainly not fair. There's nothing American about it. This sort of posturing, as if, I mean, it's just fascism, right? It's like, just declare that you're enacting the will of the people. Yeah, it's like a kind of a weird monarcho-fascism too, because it's like Donald Trump just gets less capable and less comprehensive by the day. It's like in other dictatorships, and certainly in previous like fascist dictatorships, it was so easy to, well, not easy, but it was comparatively easy to, last time those in power behaved that way, ended with a lot of guillotines involved. Hey, you said it, not me. Perhaps I want to meet my first ad. When it's over, unmute, get the second ad. I'm sorry. I canceled ads. I turned them off. I thought maybe I need to go check and make sure I did it right, I guess. Fuck, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. And like in previous fascist regimes, it was comparatively easy to control the public narrative and the way that your dear leader appeared on camera. That like this is still the strategy in North Korea, right? Where it's like there's state media and nothing fuck all else, you know. You're not getting on the internet in that country. You're not making YouTube videos and you're not setting up some kind of 24-hour propaganda news network like Fox News in North Korea, you know. And it's like, and so if you're gonna run any kind of fascist regime now, you have to do it through other means because it's just not going to land right in the ears of the people. You're not going to be able to prop up your dear leader in a way that makes it seem plausible that he's like, you know, got his head screwed on straight. Donald Trump very clearly does not have his head screwed on straight. He's pretty obviously like getting fucking old. He's pretty obviously getting senile, even if he did care at all about the shit that he says. And so I mean, it's super interesting sort of, you know, in a political science way, because it's like this particular American form of fascism that's emerging around Donald Trump really does have a specifically monarchist bent to it, because that's the only way they can, you know, structure this system, this sort of MAGA system, the Trumpist system, in such a way that it's gonna continue to hold any water at all. You know, like they have to basically make some kind of divine right argument around Trump. Because that's the only way that you could ever argue that he should retain any kind of power at all. You know, it's crazy. Yeah, gerrymandering. What's going on in Texas? What's going on in Texas is that Trump a couple weeks ago announced that he needs 5 more district seats for Republicans in Texas to maintain. That's going to be one way in which Republicans can ensure that they maintain a majority in Congress. And so all the Republicans in Texas were like, bet, say less. And they immediately gerrymandered all the districts back into this, like, they're all like shaped really fucking weird. This is what gerrymandering does. They don't make any fucking sense at all. They're explicitly designed to rob seats from Democrats. And that's not a secret. They're not even making any noises about how, like, oh, it's a, you know, a matter of population shifts and this and that. No, they're very clear about how, well, Donald Trump said we need 5 more districts, so that's what we're gonna do. And so the Democrats in the state have left. They've like a broken quora, I guess is the term, in order to pass a redistricting, I guess, like. A certain number of people, a certain amount of the House has to be there to vote on it. So all the Democrats just fucking dipped. They went to New York and Chicago to hang out for a while, so that the Republicans can't pass this shit ass law, this shit ass redistricting. And so now Abbott, our fuckwad of a governor, is basically saying that if they don't come back and allow this vote to happen, that he will kick them out of office and replace them with picks of his own choosing, because that's something that the Texas Constitution allows, that like the governor can just kind of arbitrarily remove people. And instead of I like take this all with a grain of salt, I do not know the ins and outs of, like, you know, Texas electoral law yet. But if Abbott kicks anybody out, he can just replace them without having any kind of election. This is like an emergency or whatever. So, yeah, this is happening. This is happening in Texas. It's crazy. Plot points Trump is setting up are crazy. How are they going to deal with it in the sequel? My lighting is very bright. I don't know if I like it. I'll have to fix it next time. I'm sure it's fuck not doing it today. Do you think the Texas GOP is going to successfully expel the Democrats protesting the gerrymandering? You know, I keep waiting for the sort of conclusive piece of conflict that's going to actually drive us all into having to take this shit seriously. I wouldn't be ultra surprised if this was it, you know? Like, this is a game of chicken. It's like, who's going to blink first? I think, honestly, the most likely outcome is that they're gonna, that Republicans are gonna, like, water down the redistricting in some way and, you know, only gerrymander 2 districts instead of 5. And the Democrats are gonna be like, okay, we can deal with that. And then they'll come back and it'll be fine. You know, fine. That's what I think is most likely. They shouldn't do that. They shouldn't accept any kind of redistricting that's expressly designed to, I mean, gerrymandering should be illegal. There should be, you know, explicit rules for how you do and don't draw districts that completely deny any party's ability to manipulate them in that way. If you go to Twitter, I did today, ill-advised, shouldn't do that. If you go to Twitter and look at any of the tweets talking about Texas, you will see, you know, you will see MAGA dumbasses in the comments talking about, like, well, Democrats gerrymander too. They do, obviously. What? And nobody should gerrymander. Shouldn't be legal. Like, they're all so fucking stupid, you know, like, you know, I'm so sick of pretending like, you know, you have to treat like hardcore MAGA people, especially now, you know, people who voted for Trump the second time. Hey, everybody has a momentary lapse of judgment, if you know, but if you have not accepted at this point what a shit decision that was and how much you were lied to and how gullible you were, then you can go fuck yourself. You're a fucking idiot. You're stupid. You don't know facts. And you have no interest in learning them. You know? Anyway, basically, I kind of hope the Republicans expel the Democrats. I kind of hope they do, because this shit has to stop, and Democrats have to stop playing this game where they pretend that the Republicans are behaving in any kind of good faith, you know. And we absolutely need to have some kind of revelation of which Democrats are there in good faith themselves and aren't just trying to like wait this out so that they don't have to make any hard decisions, you know? This happened with Oregon Republicans when they didn't want a climate change bill passed. Well, what happened with that? Did they water it down? And then the Republicans came back and and either voted on it or they just decided not to do it at all. That's my guess. Trying to make it so the actual left-wing communities are shaped into larger conservative ones to wash out the votes. Yeah. Hey. Texas legislature is a joke. I remember calling my reps knowing their sniveling interns were laughing when I hung up. Yeah. Texas is the fuse, to be honest. Texas is huge. Texas determines the direction of a lot of national policy. You know, financial policy, education policy, energy development policy. Texas has its own grid, which is dumb, but like, that's how big it is. You know, that's how important this state is. This is why. This is why in Alex Garland's Civil War, the thing that bothers me least about that movie is the Texas-California alliance. Everybody was like, weirder things have happened, you know. Is like that was like the like instant red flag for a bunch of people. Oh, stupid, like that would never happen. Do you know anything about these two states? It's like, no, you're not understanding what that's absolutely plausible. Texas and California both have the biggest national guards of the country. They both have the biggest economies of the country. I'm pretty sure it's Texas and California. Like Illinois and New York might be 2 and Texas might be 3 or something, but like California is the biggest economy for sure. Like they're both border states. They're both coastal states. Like if like shit really went down in this country and there was any principle left here surrounding any kind of devotion to the Constitution or whatever, it would be the easiest thing in the world for Texas and California to team up against, you know, what would then be what's left of the federal government, because a lot of you know, federal income is from those two states specifically. It'd be a huge fucking problem if, like, yeah, this country kind of turns on largely what California and Texas want to do, for better and worse. So we need to collectively start a third party and get ready to overthrow the show. That reminds me, I haven't seen a whole lot of the America Party lately. Are we done with that by now? Have we? That's gone, I guess. Are we done pretending that's ever gonna happen? Yeah. Actually, I caught you being as bad at me instead of universally perfect, so I get a turn at ruining lives. Yep. Pathetic. Like, if that's how you think the world works, then not only are you stupid, which is forgivable, you know. Some of my favorite people in the world are absolute morons. You know? But to be stupid and also a shit person, no. Your stupidity doesn't save you there. At least stupidity is charming. At least it's a little bit endearing. Texas should have stayed its own country, or in Mexico, yeah. I remember the power grid and how well that went. Yes, indeed. Texas and Cali teaming up is less unlikely than the UK and France buddying up during World War II. Yeah, I mean, World War One, yeah. I recall in high school my geography teacher genuinely believed Texas should secede. Is that still a serious consideration? No. No, it is not. Texas is not seceding anytime soon. Arguably it should. Arguably this country should be, 50 tiny countries. Newsom defies their politics. Sucks that the only political force with any motion in the U.S. is MAGA. Yeah. Or neoliberalism. And nobody likes neoliberalism. Nobody ever liked neoliberalism. I don't know. Nah, that's not true. That's not true. Never mind. Forget I said that. People did like neoliberalism. Yeah, it's just anybody with anybody with eyes to see could tell that it wasn't going anywhere great. Neoliberalism should, along with its cousin libertarianism, be, sequestered to college, children in college trying to figure themselves out. The hollowing out and de-radicalization of unions has well and truly fucked us. True. The push like button diet. Love you. So every time I hear Americans talk about their country, I feel like I'm in a dystopian novel. Yeah. What country are you from? I mean, Americans have been like really jonesing for a true conflict. People in this country don't know what a problem is. And Americans have always been bothered by that. It's always been a real serious point of insecurity for us, I think. In the same way that, like, in a very, like, juvenile way, in the same way that, like, you're, like, an emo teenager and you want bad things to happen to you for the plot, so that you can have something to go through. That's America. The small band of idiots that have a Texas currency that you can spend in certain places. As an anarchist, I endorse that shit. Do it. Make your own currency. Shit. Because, like, the thing is, when you make your own currency that isn't governed by a state, then, and it's not actually backed up by anything, then what it is backed up by is basically, like, mutual goodwill. Your currency is valuable to somebody if they accept it, and that's all. And the only reason they're going to accept it in that case is if they already trust you as a person, which means it's not really currency. It's just a marker of debt, basically. But, so fucking what? It's like wampum, or like cowrie shells. Like that's, when people call those currency, that's not really the case because they're not driven by a state. And they don't actually, like, store value. You can't just, like, pass them around willy-nilly to just anybody. Which is what that kind of thing does. It's probably a meme coin now as well. Yeah, meme coin's different. Meme coins are are governed by some kind of central interest. It's not a state, but it is whales, which do function as a state in that case. They certainly would prefer to be thought of in that way. Just keep diluting our shit, yeah. Neoliberalism is liked by rich hipsters that think liking Get Out makes them progressive. Yeah, totally. I would have voted for Obama a third term. The Americans are truly evil. Tell me about it. Wish I wasn't here. Well, I go to sleep at night by telling myself that there is a world in which the U.S. gets out of this situation in a really kick-ass way that determines our national and cultural identity for generations to come. So it's good to have dreams. I think Oscar Wilde said we skipped a phase in the development that other countries went through. I can tell you exactly the phase we skipped. It was the phase in which we determine what our national and cultural identity is going to be, without any kind of without any kind of manipulation. Like that is the story that America tells itself, is that we decided that we were going to be a democracy and we kicked out the king, but we didn't do a democracy, did we? Like, there's democracy is not mentioned a single time in the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution. We were never after democracy. We didn't want everybody to vote. We wanted the opposite. Like, that's what the Federalist Papers were kind of, at least partially about, was like, you can't be letting the states just do whatever they want, because if you let the states do whatever they want, then they might allow the uncultured, unlettered masses to take away all your shit. That's what the founding fathers were more concerned about than anything after the revolution, is that there might be a case in which too many people are voting, and the people vote to take away George Washington's stuff. That's the story of America. So, I mean, other countries in the Americas did it different. This is what I talk about fairly often. It's a pretty consistent, recommendation, read, analysis, I guess. I don't know. But part of what I think Oscar Wilde was pointing toward there is that we never had a second revolution, and most other countries in the Americas did, and the second revolution was of the people. The second revolution did kick out the literati, in all the Hispanic countries. It's like the people, the people in Latin America, in Latin American countries who kicked Spain out, like, they weren't gunning for democracy. They were not of the people. They were, is that what a Creole is? I have to hang on. A Spanish person born in the Americas. Creole. I don't want to get this wrong. No. Criollo. A descendant of Spanish or other European settlers in the Caribbean or Central or South America. Yeah. So so this is like similar to what happened in the United States, right? Where it's like you have a bunch of people who are Spanish by birth, pride themselves in being Spanish by birth, do not pride themselves in being native at all. If you're a Creole in Latin America with native blood, you do not talk about that shit. Your status is based on your connection to Spain, and like America, and this is the same in the United States, that like these are all people who were very well educated, educated in the European way. And they start getting fucked over by the mother nation. There we go. And and decide that they don't want to be Spanish anymore. They want to be their own country. Fine. So they kick the country, they kick the colonizer out, and now they're their own country. They're Bolivia or Colombia or Mexico or whatever. And then 100 some odd years later, the actual people who are making those lives, making the lives of those upper classes good, and who are responsible for maintaining that, class stratification, decide that they don't like that shit either. So they kick them all out and replace them with some kind of government of the people. That's not to say that government of the people is like always going to be reliable or the best government, or that it's going to be successful or even in good faith, but that second revolution is typically the moment where a country kind of like builds its, at least in my read and in my analysis, is when that country starts building its cultural identity, Mexico as a country has a like serious revolutionary spirit to this day. You know, their second revolution was just over 100 years ago, and to this day, it's like a serious factor in a lot of Mexican identity. Again, for better or for worse, but at least it's an identity. You know, we don't have one. What is American cultural identity? Like, and it seems like right now we're just sort of replaying the same thing where in the Civil War we had the chance to do that. The North won, and then during Reconstruction, we had the opportunity to to make this a country about true democracy, and to make this a country where things like racism were not allowed ever again, and we decided not to. So now we're just replaying that same conflict now. You know, we decided to pretend that racists could just get better. And it looked like maybe they could for a while after the civil rights movement. And we've just been tolerating them for the past 150 years. And as soon as shit starts to go sideways in this country, as soon as anything, you know, any kind of progressivism gets its hold, the fucking Nazis are right there to say, oh, wasn't it better when white guys were in charge? That's really what our country's about, is white guys being in charge and telling everybody what to do. That's what we are. We've had so many opportunities to get rid of that strain of identity that is just, you know, mutually exclusive with any kind of inclusive cultural identity. And we decided not to. So we're just going to keep doing this shit until that is done. So, you know, my hope is that now's the time. I'd rather not be the one that has to live through that, because it's going to suck. But, like, we got to stop doing this shit. It's so cringe. It's so pathetic. Like, enough. I hate it so much. I'm so behind on the chat. Fat and arrogant and complacent. Yeah, for sure. Itching for a fight they don't understand and don't really want. Yeah. People do really need to read Graeber. Yes, indeed, Hampton. Insecure about how young we are as a country. Yeah. Certainly. We certainly love to pretend we've got our shit figured out and blow you the fuck up if you disagree. Ooh, that hits. America is the only country that went from barbarian to decadence without knowing civilization. Oh, that goes so hard. Nice. Hampton, hard disagree. Neoliberalism was a product of Keynes and the people who believed that they could will society into an equation. Keynes was not the one who did that. You are looking at the, that's much more, a Friedman and Hayek project. You're looking at the Mont Pelerin Society for Neoliberalism. Keynes was not a neoliberal. Keynes, what's the, not that I'm like super defensive of Keynes, because his model of capitalism still was like ultra overcomplicated in the way that you have to be if you want to sustain capitalism in any way that is principled. But no, Keynes is not a neoliberal. No. Does the kick-ass way you imagine things here being fixed resemble the climax of a Shane Black movie? It does. How did you know? We wouldn't call the American Civil War a second revolution. No. We let the South back in. So no. It was just a misfire that killed thousands and thousands of people. So we ended slavery and then what? Turned them into sharecroppers. Immediately. We had the opportunity to turn that into a second revolution. We didn't. On purpose. I grew up in DC and stole a daffodil from Monticello on a field trip. We can still take Washington's stuff. Comrades, don't give up hope. Oops. Okay. Hi. I feel the need to make propaganda of the scathing kind. Do it. Do it. Do it. Honor your ancestors. Make Pancho Villa proud. Culturally, Americans should view the Confederates in the same light as the Nazis. Yes. Oh, hi, Corvid. I didn't know you were here. TBH, Mexicans and Germans have things in common too, like using tuba as a bass in their music. big German, let's see, an exodus from Germany to Mexico in the 1830s, I want to say. Huge German population in Mexico. That's why we use so many accordions. And tubas, you're right. White Americans don't really have a culture. We just steal everything from Black Americans. Yeah, true and not true. White Americans do have culture. I'll talk a lot about that in my Sinners video. It's just that we're really ashamed of it. You know? Like, because white Americans, like, kind of the only American identity, the sort of legitimate American identity is being wealthy. Just being wealthy. Just having money and spending it on stuff. Is the only real acceptable cultural American identity. So because white American culture, because all culture is, almost all culture is born out of duress. It's born out of lower classes and then trickles up, you know, and then, you know, and then the upper classes decide what is and is not fashionable. And usually that fashion is taken straight from lower classes, from like rich people trying to slum it, you know, and seem cool by doing that. White Americans do have culture. It's just that all that culture is a function of being poor, or having been poor at one point in your family. And we just really don't like to acknowledge that or own it in any way or contribute to its preservation in any way, because we'd rather be rich, or at least seen as rich, you know, which is what middle class culture really is. Middle class culture is the appearance of wealth without really having very much wealth at all. No. Ooh, having a smoothie and a knockoff Takis for dinner is that what the TikTok kids are calling girl dinner when it's not a thin veil for starving yourself? Oof. Accounting for inflation, Gone with the Wind is still the highest grossing film in history, a movie that glorifies the South and laments its loss. Hey, let's not forget Birth of a Nation. A groundbreaking film. Damn, Manny. God damn. Hey, good luck. I would honestly rather be in Mexico right now. I may have to at some point. We've been, you know, talking a little bit in my family about our our escape plans. Certainly, you know, what we're gonna do if somebody gets picked up by ICE. You know, that's a very, very real possibility. Like my dad is kind of, or at least was kind of fond of saying like, hey, let them try. You know, I'm a citizen. Doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter. So if that happens, oh shit, I'm gonna make it everybody's problem. Anyway, good luck, Manny. The Civil War was a tantrum, yeah. Zapata only? Alright, suit yourself. Part of the leaders of the revolution in Argentina fought for Latin American indigenous anti-colonial unity, approaching the idea of Simón Bolívar or José Martí, but they were betrayed by those who ended up becoming the national landowning bourgeoisie of the country. Several families still continue to impact the country's politics and economy. Like, all this shit is so recent, you know? It's so recent. It's like just out of living memory. Yeah. Just listening to my papa play accordion with his brothers. Oh. Do. Clip on Twitter is trending of a Tiny Desk performance of Home by Edward Sharp, the Magnetic Zeros. People are hating on it. Like in your Center City, I've really curated and slapped together. That's a shame. I gotta go check that out. I love Tiny Desk concerts. US is not real, yeah. Looking back now on growing up urban in the Netherlands, I was definitely with the implication that our most legitimate expression of culture was feeling like we were above the more rural regions' culture. Yeah. Like carnival and like religion and stuff. Yeah. In fact, I tweeted about this the other day. Let's see if I can find it. And one of the comments, I don't know, it didn't annoy me, but I think that like we're so entrenched in a particular understanding of what it means to live a decent and good life globally, not just in this country, that is so disdainful of any kind of lower class culture as being legitimate or worthy of respect, you know. And I think that's a huge fucking problem that everybody has to get through if we're gonna like conclusively do away with fascism the way it's growing right now. Okay, yeah, here it is. I tweeted, American blood and soil ideology is especially pathetic because if the right refuses to define itself by ideas, its heritage is literally just the aesthetic of having money and buying shit. They certainly neither want nor get to claim anything like jazz lol. And somebody commented, they might be here. So I mean, if you are, I'm not calling you out at all. Is that perfectly, you know, valid thing to say, but it is sort of emblematic of the kind of attitude that I think we all should probably check in ourselves. It's the same in Germany. Their aspirational pictures are just boring small village life, and the best music they can do is shitty metal and rock music. Hard to agree with the second part. but small shitty village life is where culture comes from. Everywhere, you know. Not just here, not just in Latin America, not just everywhere. That's where culture comes from. Like when we talk about folk culture, the kinds of things that countries like tend to hearken back to or gesture toward whenever they talk about their national culture, it's small, boring village life, because that's where people are bored, and that's where people, because of their boredom, start like trying out different kinds of music and like trying, you know, different ways to you know, structure their little local governments or whatever, and to like figure out new agricultural methods and new foods, you know, like, oh my god, food, you know, like almost all of the great food, national food that we think of, like national dishes, that's all peasant dishes, you know. Like, the reason we like it is not just because it tastes good, although it does, because, you know, the reason we like, you know, like international cuisine is not just because it tastes good. It's because there's a history there, and that history is sort of built on the back of the sort of like the ambiance that surrounds the food, and the fact that like it's not just the food, it's the people you're sharing it with, and it's the culture it comes from, and what that culture means to the people who made it. And that shit happens in boring small town village life almost invariably. Like this idea that culture is always and not that this, we're beyond the tweet now, but like you know, we're so much of the way our society functions assumes that the sort of tale that the high classes told themselves over the past 500 or 600 years, that real culture only comes from great learning and familiarity with theory and all of these, you know, all these things that only a super high class moneyed education can get you, is bullshit. That's bullshit. That shit is almost never the stuff that sticks. That is never the stuff that's like consistently exported in a way that, you know, people abroad find compelling, you know? Wish those MAGA cucks would find a hobby or come out of the closet or something, yeah. I know. I know. Ugh. I used to do a SWAT style raid on our house, which is the worst part. Fucking sucks, dude. But we had a lot of family to receive us, and my dad even kept his job as a remote worker. Oh, that's good. American money in Mexico is, yeah, that goes far. So you continue to support me. I currently work as a remote bilingual interpreter. Hey, yeah, that's a good job. Good for you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like the couple of cousins I have who've gotten deported, it's yeah, it could be worse for them, because we do have a lot of family in Mexico still who are perfectly ready to receive them, and, you know, they have a support system. My family is lucky in that way. Not everybody is, obviously. Jenny was surprised I didn't have to watch Birth of a Nation for class. Had some classmates who did, but I guess I got lucky. Yeah, I did. Definitely. I've had to watch Birth of a Nation in class a few times. Any plans for when YouTube starts asking for age verification with ID? God, man, I don't want to think about that. I don't know what I'm going to do if, well, I mean, I guess I'd just, if it really came down to it, I'd just, like, really crack down on the dissertation and like, go full ham into finishing this degree and using that degree to get a job. I mean, it sucked now because, like, YouTube is pretty much my only income. But I'll figure it out. I mean, my degree is the kind that would be applicable to fixing a problem like, or helping be a part of the solution to a problem like that. So, I mean, you know, I have no great love for YouTube, you know, as an employer, as a platform. Like, I'm gonna feel betrayed if YouTube makes it impossible for me to work there. My rural dwellings, we love the people. We're very much in agreement of our problems. We're just choked by wage slavery to do anything. We're too exhausted. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, America right now is not yet in that position. you know, which is why it's really fucking important to do shit now while people have the time and the money and the energy and aren't, you know, and don't just have like their backs broken by the return of manufacturing to America or whatever the fuck, you know, sending us all to steel mines or whatever, you know, all those American steel mines and copper mines. We have so much of those deposits here in the United States of America. Oh, Lord. A person called this trend of stomp, clap, hey music reminiscent of the Obama era because of how loosely connected and vaguely hopeful, but ultimately nonsensical messaging and aesthetic. Yeah. I will say for stomp, clap, hey music, at least it was sort of an attempt at codifying a legitimate white American culture, you know? Because it is very American. The aesthetic is very American. I don't know if I agree that it's a nonsensical or like incoherent aesthetic. It's pretty obviously, to me, like sort of hearkening toward a sort of turn of the 20th century kind of romanticized, I don't know, working class laborer type of aesthetic. People need to understand, if you hate rural existence and culture, and you are a hypocrite. 80% of any country's economy comes from the field workers, miners, and every blue-collar laborer. Yep. Reminds me of certain people who were criticizing the casting of the Kents in the new Superman. They're a little cartoonish, but it's also a superhero movie. Yeah, I agree, except for the part where the Kents are cartoonish. I assure you they're not. No, they were perfect. They're perfect. I know so many people like that. I know people like that in my own family. How's it going, Aunt Kathy? And they're great. Like, that's the kind of, you know, that sort of like, that is a part of American white culture too. That's sort of like Southern hospitality, sweet tea sort of type of, oh, how you doing, darling? Like, that's good. That's good shit. Keep it, you know? One of the things I don't like about how Texas is right now is that like so many white people in this fucking state are just getting so fucking mean, you know? Just mean. Where's the hospitality? You know, I thought like the whole thing about middle America or whatever is that they're supposed to be friendly. It sucks. People forgot how to decorate time. Yeah. It's going back though, yeah. What you see as culture tends to be what you are not willing to give up because that's your social fabric that determines your reality. Yes, my one of my professors defines culture as non-genetic inherited traits, which is pretty good. I define it as whatever you think is the proper way to be a human, you know? That like you can sort of intellectually understand that other people have different ways of, you know, what constitutes the proper way to be a human and accept that. But like, I mean, like, I'll take a really sort of toothless example that won't earn any ire or whatever for seeming racist, because this really is not about race at all. But so like when I moved to California, one of the things that like, I mean, there's not a whole lot of like culture shock between states in America, but there is a little, and there's less and less for sure as the decades go on because of neoliberalism and and that kind of cultural hegemony thing. But when I went to California, it fucking blew my mind how California culture is so cool with dogs being in restaurants. That shit is bonkers to me. That is not an appropriate way to be a human. That is an improper way to be a human. Dogs don't belong in restaurants. What the fuck are you doing? They're dogs. They're dirty. Dogs are gross. Get them out of the fucking restaurant. Unless they're a service dog, you know? That shit's weird. Capitalism leads us to think we deserve to become the 1%, even though having things according to our needs is better for the people in mind. Yes. Give a hard caution to trying to promote woke culture to white folks, especially in Germany. Last time that happened, things got out of hand really fast. Well, you know, this is what we talked about last time. There's no such thing as a pure symbol. Everything can be used. This is the problem with fascism. This is why it's so hard to counteract. Is that like, it's really good at co-opting symbolism that is really meaningful to people. You know, fascism is a lot like a parasite in that way. It's a lot like the kind of disease that occurs when your body is already kind of weak, you know. It's this kind of like social pathology that takes serious advantage of any weakness in the sort of body politic. The underbellies of cities have a similar potential for being culturally generative. It's just that when you get to comfortable upper middle class and above, that shit dies down. Yes, yeah, that exists in cities for fucking certain. Yes, most certainly. But yeah, as you said, it's always going to be like the lower classes of cities for sure. Is cuisine and culinary art specifically studied in the field of anthropology? I never thought about it in academic terms. Yes. Might I direct you toward, oh shit, what do they call it? Gastroanthropology, I guess is what it would be. Yes, there are anthropologists of food, absolutely. It's a super, super interesting field. Most national cuisine does seem to involve desperation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, you don't know what to eat. You gotta fucking eat something, and you know, all you have available is the land around you. So you try shit out, and some of it's fucking delicious. And imagine how good that feels in that time, you know, when you're desperate, or at least approaching desperation. You are at least desperate enough to try shit you would never think about eating before, and you try it and it tastes fucking good. You get to share it with your people. Wow. One day more stuck in my head. Biggest tragedy is how the rich somehow turned art as the most compelling culture, and hence alienate people from experiencing art deeper. Yes. Your now school video sold me a 2-year Surfshark sub. Excellent. That's great. Yeah. Alienating audiences is a huge fucking problem. It's like all we have right now is aspiration, you know, and aspiration is not a fucking culture. Wishing you could be different is not a culture, you know? Oh God, I've seen deportees living in the streets, not knowing any Spanish and really struggling. Made me very aware of my privilege in comparison. Whoop. Yeah. Being deported and not knowing Spanish would fucking suck. Holy shit. Ugh. Can't imagine culinary anthropology is particularly easy, since food and recipes can only be preserved in writing, I assume. You would think, and yet, like, you can kind of backwards engineer a lot of what is going on in the culture of food. By, you know, as people were saying, like, the kinds of ingredients that are around, the ways in which, like, current people of that culture who make that food were taught to make it by their parents, their relatives, and how they learned it, and so, you know, it's like there are a bunch of recipes where in Europe where like the folk culture tells you to like put the bread in the oven and say the Lord's Prayer. Like that you need to bake that shit for as long as it takes you to say the Lord's Prayer 5 times or something, or like that's how you knead the dough or something. And so it's like it's not just about like this is what's interesting about culinary anthropology is that like it's not just about the specifics of how the thing is made. It's about what the making of it means to the people who made it. So like if you're saying the Lord's Prayer 5 times as you knead this dough, like yes, it is the case that reciting the Lord's Prayer 5 times maps out to a specific amount of time that needs to be done in, that is best for your bread, but also it's the fact that spirituality and a spiritual assumption of food is built into the making of it. When you say the Lord's Prayer 5 times while you're kneading the dough or whatever, like you're not just keeping time, you're also kind of infusing the gratitude for your food into the food itself. It's like it's this kind of ritualistic performance you do for yourself, which is super interesting, kind of a sucker for stomp clap hey music. Stomp clap hey. Keep wanting to say stomp clamp. Ho Hey is the worst Lumineers song. The rest of that first album is super good. Legitimately. Or is it Hey Ho? Can't remember. That song sucks. It's so unfair that was the most that was their most popular one. I think it's funny that guitars are very Middle Eastern. Americans love it so much. Banjos are extremely American though. Banjos are an American instrument. Black people invented that shit. And guitars are also very portable, very easy for an Irish or Scottish immigrant to take a guitar to the New World or build one if they were familiar with it. Ophelia goes hard. Yeah, it does. People pretending to be hippies in $700 shirts. Indeed. A lot like musicology, yes. You trip in New Orleans, someone will make you a plate, a drink, and light you a cigarette. Yeah. Yeah. I love New Orleans. That's a fucking crazy city. Didn't mean any offense by saying they're cartoonish. I'm not. None taken. I get what you mean. The only thing that I wanted to specify is that they are not a caricature in any way at all. Like there's nothing over the top about the Kents. They are like, that's how people are in rural Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas and Arkansas and et cetera, et cetera. And Pa Kent didn't tell Clark to let kids die even once. Uh-huh. God, fuck Zack Snyder. I think dogs in restaurants is a white person thing. It is. It is. Well, it's because it's like my child, This is my fur baby. If I know cleaner hound and all these parts when you see me walking in the deli with my St. Bernard. That reminds me, I ignored a text earlier. The Morbid Man has been in the sights of the pet distribution system for some time. And today he texted me, I did something silly today. I said, what did you do? And he said he went to the dog shelter to look at some dogs. And there were a couple dogs. They were really cute. They were very cute. Here, I'll see if you can. I'll see if I can show you the one we're looking at. I can probably hold this up in front of the camera, right? Jojo cute doggy. You cute boy, some kind of Pyrenees. His name is Oof. So, we'll see. Trying to get my doctor to refer to me as the gastroanthropologist. One of my favorite cultural food moments is Japanese curry, which comes from bastardized British versions of Indian food. Culture is so much fun. It's so cool, man. Like the most annoying comment, like recurring comment on this on that prestige horror, elevated horror video I just did, is like people accusing me of like kids these daysing, or yeah, like I am to a certain extent, but specifically in like a oh, things are in a nostalgia pilled way, and like, oh, things are always so much better 20 years ago or 40 years ago or whatever. No, I'm so pro change, dude. It's the best thing in the world when newer generations take a cultural product and make their own shit out of it. It's the fucking best. I want people to be able to do that in a way that is honest and not directed by corporate interests, you know? That's all. All the deportees, including Mexicans, that are taken to West Congo. What the fuck is up with that? Fuck, dude. I love anthropology so much. They're always schizo posting the hardest theories ever. They're actually insanely subversive, but they go undetected. The humanities are the heart and soul of society. Yeah, I know. Anthropology in particular is really having a moment right now. I think it's going to be important in, you know, constructing whatever comes after whatever this is, you know, this moment in time. Labor values and beauty on the commodity, which adds value to the product and surplus value. Yeah. I will say I'm not much of a labor theory of value type bitch. More of a subjective theory of value type bitch. Sorry, this makes more sense. Hi, Black Bag. Have you seen the new Naked Gun? No, I haven't. I'll probably see it this week sometime. I am going to see Eddington on Wednesday. I don't know if it fell into the algorithmic necromancy trap. That's a really great way to put that FD Bloodlines fell into. Yeah, I will update. I did see Together the other day. It was good. It was fun. It kind of felt like you could have made the same exact movie in the 70s. It felt very kind of 70s coded in that way, just narratively, which I think is kind of cool. Glad there are other people who hate Ho-Hey, but are still really into like Lord Huron, Lumineers, and whatever else is in their genre. Lord Huron is terrific. Kick-ass band. Seriously good white American culture. Lord Huron. If nobody's heard of them, go take a listen. World in general is pretty in love with guitars. Pretty goated instrument. Country forgot what the blues remembers. Nice. Yes. You know, for the longest time I thought Mumford & Sons only had one song because all their songs sound exactly the fucking same. But their cover of The Boxer is really good. Like it a lot. Listen to it all the time. What do you think about FFC's Instagram post about being happy for getting nominated as worst director for Megalopolis because it's better for artists to push a limit and try things that might not work out than to just do what the industry wants? It seems to tie into what you talk about a lot with shitty B movies being good for culture. Yeah, no, I mean, it's good that he posted that, I guess. I just don't, like, it's pretty rich hearing that from one of the few directors in the industry right now who can just unilaterally make a movie, you know? Like, yeah, it's good that you did that, dude, but maybe it's not all about you. Maybe other people have movies they would like to make, and you should be supporting them, you know? Podcat would have died for the squirrel. Yeah. Eh. Out of frame. Yes. Yeah, he's a cute boy. He seems really chill, which is a must if he's gonna live with my cat. Austin Pet Shelter is dangerous. I went with my friends who were getting a cat and almost walked out with a third dog. It's good dogs in Texas. It's a bunch of good boys in this state. That's one thing to say for Texas. Unfair we live with such beautiful beings, always shit all over them. Yeah. Dogs are so good. It's like, it's crazy how, because like a dog can fuck you up, you know? It's crazy how few dog attacks there are, or even just bites, considering how shitty we are to them. You know? It's like, man, most creatures, I think, just sort of trend toward love. Ooh, that's such a cringe thing to say. That felt so sappy, but like most things just want to live their lives and have fun with others. Everybody likes friends, you know. Crazy to accuse you of being nostalgia pilled when you're a dedicated and vocal Disney remake hater. Oh, thank you, Corvid. Gosh, I appreciate that. That reminds me, podcast is shaping up. It'll be out this month for sure. I know I said last month, but this month for sure. For channel emojis. Can we have some? Yeah, give me a minute. I don't know. The way some people hate on Disney remakes is very nostalgia pilled. That's fair. It is. For sure. Like I arguably probably fall into that sometimes, but also like I think I'm very happy to admit when a Disney remake does something right. I do not think Disney is sacred, you know. I think fuck man. Oh, I can't wait till the Aladdin episode. I am a vehement defender of that project. I don't love everything about it. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I don't think it's a great movie, but I think that there are some parts of that movie that are fun as fuck. And that do what remakes should do and do them quite well. And the amount of like insistent hate I see toward that movie for, you know, chicken shit reasons that don't really make any sense is, yeah, it's silly. But like our first episode about Snow White, like, holy fuck, dude. Like I really was ready to admit that this new Snow White did things better. It didn't. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It's not because it's a Disney remake. That's only one piece in what a sin against man that movie is so bad. Hi, Frederick. New Chaperone song? I didn't know there was a new Chaperone song. Francis Ford Coppola. I don't know shit, yeah. Mm-hmm. Lord Huron and Phoebe Bridgers are peak white American culture. I agree, maybe. I don't know if they're peak white American culture, but they certainly are white American culture, which is nice. You know, what the fuck is Trump doing to your Federal Reserve? Gutting it. I'm trying to gut it. I don't know. Yeah, hiring the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics is fucking wild move. Wild. Yeah, again, good on the Texas Democrats because they gotta take this shit seriously. Fuck. Whatever. I don't want to talk about it. Simon and Garfunkel too. That's peak white people. Yeah, I mean, like, there is a, man, and this is such a problem too, and something that I think Sinners is a really excellent commentary on, that like a lot of the folk music, that like, man, and this was sort of a matter of corporate engineering as well, that like when all these albums, like bluegrass and blues albums, were coming out, they were being marketed by the sort of nascent music industry as different according to what race they were, right? There's no difference between blues and bluegrass. And everybody who were making, who were like developing those music styles at the time knew that. There was a lot of like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like racial mixing in the development of those music traditions. But when blues albums were sold, they were sold as race albums. So when we get to, and that kind of started this, you know, from what I know, I'm not an ethnomusicologist, but like it seems to me that was like kind of key in the sort of splitting of blues and its sort of tech tree, which is amazing, and bluegrass, which kind of developed into country and folk, American folk music, and not a whole lot else. And but then like American folk music, you're like Bob Dylan types, Joan Baez, whatever. Like a lot of the folk music that that they were singing was like sharecropper music, which was sometimes white, more often black, and certainly not credited. I don't think that they should have had to credit their black influence, because it should have been a known quantity at the outset, you know. But the way things shook out, it's like the music that Bob Dylan sings and Simon and Garfunkel has such a heavy inflection of Black American culture that is just absolutely invisible. It sucks. This is morbid fuck with the Queen of Lesbians, Chappell Roan. I was listening to Chappell Roan in 2021. No big deal. Does anyone else feel like companies are doubling down on their fascist-esque advertising messaging? Man, I'm like, I have so few. I need to stop seeing the hot takes about that shit online. Not that you're wrong for bringing it up here. This is not a post. You're in a, you know, you're in my chat, but like, sorry, did anybody expect anything different from corporations? What the fuck are we doing? What the fuck kind of game are we playing? Is the lowest hanging fruit possible in any kind of cultural analysis. Like, yes, corporations are gonna like skew their messaging toward a more fashy friendly vibe if a fascist government is in charge, obviously. Oh, bring her back. I have not seen it yet. I will see it. Dogs are expressions of underclass culture too, aren't they? Yes. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I've known reptiles that enjoyed human company. Yeah, they're a bunch of lizards that, like, they're like little dogs. They love people. Blue-tongued skinks. Brianna, I had a dream last night where somebody had made a compilation of your funny moments. I felt enraged because I didn't do it first. It seems like fate trying to tell you something. Finally, someone who doesn't completely hate the Aladdin remake. The genie and I will say the kid who played Aladdin, ugh, yikes, not a very good actor. But like, if you're gonna stunt cast, casting Will Smith as the genie is a really good casting decision. I love that he didn't just, or that, you know, that the studio in general, but also Will Smith in particular, didn't just try and like do a Robin Williams impression. You know, like he actually made the character his own. It's a Will Smith performance, but like, yeah, of course it is. The genie was initially a very Robin Williams performance, and nobody gave a shit then. Aladdin has insane dance sequences. It does! Yeah! There's a difference between they did a different thing and not the same thing again. I hate it, and this is turbo ass and a massive waste of everything that went into it. Yes, that's Snow White. We're gonna talk about 101 Dalmatians and the Jungle Book. We're doing every remake, every Disney remake that's been made. We're recording episode 3 in a few days, and it's gonna be Dumbo. One of my favorite original Disney movies and one of my least favorite remakes. That movie fucking sucks. It's really bad. Ugh. If everything is political, even apolitical projects, then why can't we replace apolitical on the political spectrum with attempted apolitical, that the latter might become the former? Because there's too many powerful interests that say no. That's the only reason. Compared to Lilo and Stitch, Snow White at least makes awful decisions in ways that are entertainingly baffling. Yeah, Lilo and Stitch just like, ooh. Right. Snow White is entertaining in the same way that a train crash is entertaining. Lilo and Stitch is, I don't know. I don't know. I suck at coming up with analogies on the fly, but it's like, you know, if it's like Lilo and Stitch is like stomp clap hey music. Actually, it's like, you know, super commodified repackaging of something that was once really cool, so that they can access an audience that isn't interested in it. Okay, I will go listen to the new Chaperone song. I promise. A good night. Rocky Road to Dublin has been stuck in my head for months now. Oh yeah, for me it's Wild Mountain Time. I won't get out of my head. I find myself whistling it when I'm idling. Sinners is a perfect movie. Pantsmaster, that is legitimately very cool. Yeah, it kind of seems to me that like Chaperone would reject the title of queen. She's too low and base for that. She's camp, you know? Countesses may be correct. Yeah. There's room for camp in that title. How does someone enter a culture and not be a vulture? What makes the Beastie Boys and Mac Miller different from a Post Malone? I don't think that that's something that can be like quantified or codified or taught, you know, because what it comes down to is respect, and respect is just not something that you can like give somebody a handbook for, you know. Wish you could, but that's how communication goes. Yeah, love to hear your thoughts eventually about the Philippou brothers, specifically in the potential for YouTuber to movie director pipeline more generally. Yeah. Um, yeah, happy to give those thoughts as soon as I've seen that movie. Tegus are a dog-like lizard. Yeah, tegus are dope. They're so cool. You can press F5 at the same time to make this live stream peak its viewers. If you want to hack the algorithm, I don't know what those words mean. I know what individually those words mean, but it's like the meme. I know some of those words. I'm talking to a girl 3 days straight non-stop. Aw, Hampton. Aw. Adorable. I hope that goes well for you. You see together? I did. I talked a little bit about it. I liked it. It was cute. You know, it had a couple good jump scares, which is always fun. Told her I loved owls, and she sent me a reel of a cute owl in the middle of the night. Oh my god. Yay. Elios should have gotten the Lilo and Stitch marketing budget. Yeah, they should have gotten better animation too. I still need to watch that movie. I'm sure it's fun. You know, I'm sure it's of perfectly adequate quality, as adequate as Pixar can manage being owned by Disney. Podcast out yet? No. It'll be out in the next couple. We're just trying to the main roadblock right now to getting it published is that we need oh god, this is so stupid. We need an intro and outro music, and we decided to use When You Wish Upon a Star. I got a friend, a music guy, to make a cover of it. We're gonna, have half of it being to sort of like evoke the theme of the podcast, to have half of it in like sort of like old-timey phonograph style, and half of it a sort of pop remake, right? And it sounds great, it's beautiful, but we discovered that you need some kind of license to do that, and I'm not fucking doing that. So that means that we need to rewrite the song, and we need to come up with parody lyrics so that we can qualify for fair use. So we're doing that. And then we have to that part's super fun, but then we have to send it to the music guy, and then he has to re-record the whole thing, and it's a whole thing, Mr. House is supposed to look like Walt Disney, right? I think so. But a lot of guys looked like this in the 30s. Okay, ask for cat owning advice as a first time cat owner. How do I get my cat to stop eating my toilet paper roll? Buddy, you move the toilet paper roll, I'm afraid. Maybe you'll be able to move it back eventually in like a couple years. Once they've forgotten the fine taste of toilet paper. Hosier is a good example of not being a culture vulture. Yes, Hosier takes music and makes it into his own thing, and he puts his own little fun Irish spin on it, Whoop, ask her out. Yeah, Hampton, you gotta ask her out, I think. Any thoughts on the state of Pixar right now? I mean, not really. What is there to say other than noting its steady decline since it got bought by Disney? This is what Disney does now. It's just this, it's the IP game, We can't have anything new because that's unreliable, and We have to consolidate all the power in the industry into the hands of executives instead of artists, and because artists are unreliable and artists are unpredictable, and that's not good. And it's so much easier to just have like lower and more consistent returns than risk anything. And unfortunately, Pixar is a participant in that now. Ugh. You know, I wouldn't be. Marcotta and Hampton seem like sort of bizarro versions of each other. I would not. I would not say that making the mods would be the worst idea. Elio didn't have the sauce. Yeah. There's a new Pixar movie that looks fun. The first trailer I saw looked nice. It's an animal movie. I love that. Genuinely comes down to not being a poseur. You have to actually bring something to the scene. Yep, the least of which is your respectful presence instead of just trying to rap because it's different. Yeah. Bye, Corvid. You know what? I've never seen Anastasia. I don't think. I think maybe I saw it in theaters. No. Did it come out in theaters? I don't remember. I maybe saw it once when it came out when I was like 4. I saw the trailer all the fucking time. But I've never seen it. Oh, fuck off, Hampton. It's fucking busting my balls about I should be a mod, and then as soon as please. If it's an app, the sooner you ask out the better. Yes. Is it an app? Hampton, did you meet this girl through an app? Hampton got so scared they turned Australian. Oh, you were saying nah or about asking the girl out. Oh, I see. Sorry, I'm still catching up on the chat. I'm a little out of context. I'm behind all of the rest of you at any given time. Hi, crab with a knife. Where the fuck have you been? I was in Massachusetts for some time. It was okay. It was not a vacation. And it was kind of fun. I did see family that I haven't seen in a long time, but it was also quite stressful. So that's where I've been. Yeah, I've never seen Anastasia. Leave me alone. The Don Bluth movie, not Land Before Time. Post Disney, Pixar gave us up, Ratatouille, Inside Out, and WALL-E. Is that really post Disney ownership? I wonder how the executive structure was shaking out around that time. I don't know anything about Pixar. I saw a trailer for Weapons a few months ago. Thought it looked interesting. Now I see ads for it every day, and that makes me think it might be shit. It's just because it's coming out really soon. Don't read into it. It looks good. What the fuck are you doing in Boston? I told you I was delivering a life-sized donkey statue. Put his phone on stream. Let's look at these texts. Yeah, Hampton, did you meet this girl online or not? You never said. How likely do you think it would be to get Lindsay Ellis to guest on your pod? She does seem like the perfect. Oh shit, she does seem like the perfect. Oh fuck, I never thought of that. She's kind of hard to reach. I don't know if I know anybody who knows her, which would be the way. I'm sure she has a literary agent. I could reach out to them, I guess. She might have like some kind of PR manager. I'm really not sure. But yeah, it's a great idea. I had not thought of that. I'm from near Salem. It's very pretty up there. I do love this sort of like New England Americana vibe. I think that's super fun. I kind of wish I was from there instead. But yeah. Met her on IG. She's a friend of a friend. Amazing. Um, in that case, I say keep chit chatting for a little while, and then and then when the vibe kind of you like I find that in situations where you kind of know each other, and it's not a dating app situation, like taking the next step, you don't want to do that at the height of like your conversation. You want to let that shit die down to like 92%, 87% intensity. And then once it like, because that's like the sweet spot where you're starting to, figure out what the next thing is going to be for you, and whether you're just going to keep like being friendly online or what, or like super friends, best friends, or dating. So I say keep chit chatting for a few days. Yeah. 3 days is not enough for an IG connect. Fun fact, Josh Brolin came into the store I worked at last year twice a week for a month while filming Weapons a few streets over. That's cool. I like Josh Brolin. TM, I've got. She must have a business inquiries email. No, she not available on YouTube, certainly. It's really hard to reach internet personalities as a rule. Like, some people are really, make their shit super available, but like Lindsay's been through so much shit, and has had such a chaotic online presence that I do not begrudge her at all not having a direct contact. That's just got to be stressful. Millennial teaches the youth about romance. Yes, that's right. I am exactly the person you should be listening to. Why a donkey? It's an old heirloom of my granddaddy's. He had 3 animal statues, like life-size animal statues. One was a donkey, one was a sheep, and one was a porcupine. One cousin got the porcupine, I got the sheep, and my other cousin got the donkey. But because it's so big, it was really hard to ship. So she paid me to drive it up. If you got Nebula, you could probably get in contact with her fairly easily, right? So just do that. Yeah, I'm preparing for a Nebula pitch in the near future for sure. She sounds like someone that has done all the mistakes so you don't have to. Yeah, kind of. Highest on her list of mistakes. Contra did this too. And continues to do this, arguably, is treating social media like it's your friend. Social media is not your friend. Social media, posting on Twitter is not like texting your friend. And it's a completely understandable way to approach social media. That's how it wants you to approach it, but that's not how you should ever. Never has that been the case, and never will that be the case. One hour and 40 minutes of pure yapping. Yeah. Yeah, damn. Well, I'm caught up with the chat now, so why don't we go ahead and at least finish this before Morbid Man gets home. We have to have a big serious talk about dogs. What makes you you wanted me to come down here?
That's rather obvious, isn't it? The Platinum chip is a data storage device. I need you to manually upload the data from the chip to the facility's primary computer. There's a terminal at the other end of this facility. There's a complication. While I can broadcast to this screen, I can't control any of the facility's systems. That means I can't deactivate its security bots, most of which appear to be active according to the status board I'm looking at.
Where's Rex? I think he's still with me. What can I say? I like yapping. Don't be so interesting in the comments then. What will you do with your Securitrons?
My army will do what an army does best. Defend territory from invaders and maintain order.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
I like to think you have enough sense to do the right thing. The rewards for doing so are immense, as are the punishments for not doing so.
Yeah, need I remind you people that, yeah, there's Rex, that I did finish Disco Elysium.
Please clear the area
Shit.
until order has been...
Do I have my guns back? Yes, I do. Okay. Let's go ahead and assign these, since every time they take them away, I have to do that again. We'll do... Let's see. Yeah, we'll do the revolver, and then... repeater, and then... service rifle. Yes. And then shotgun. No, we want the sturdy caravan shotgun. Please and thanks. And then submachine gun. In fact, I think we should probably... and then look at all my grenades. I'm coming in hot! Let's go ahead and equip this submachine gun, and then we can blow these motherfuckers to hell. Oh! Whoa, good boy! Okay. I gotta stop paying attention to you people. It's distracting. Fuck. I'm too dumb! Okay. Here's... No? Okay then. Fuck me. Oop! Shit. I didn't mean to take all that. Ooh, I gotta sell this snow globe. I keep forgetting. What can I drop? Was there something else in miscellaneous that's heavy as fuck that I missed? We can repair the shotgun, I guess. Fuck, I don't want to do that. Waste of a shotgun. I know. I'll give it to Rex. Yeah, you people. Found an author named Marvin Harris who wrote about the cultural/material roots of dietary traditions in many cultures. Highly recommend to look up some titles. I think I will. 1 second. Give the snow globe to Mr. House for money. Gotcha. Marvin Harris. Cool. He can have the grenade rifle also, and then that's fine. Ooh. I need it. We're gonna sell it. Okay. This damage robots and power armor. You can have a plasma grenade, and then I will keep the pulse grenades. In fact, I think I will go ahead and equip those now. There we go. Okay. Day 5000 asking for bookshelf index. Hey, we got time. One day, it will happen. Turrets. Good lord. Oh, fuck! God damn it. Oh my god. Stupid! Yay, good boy. Oh, bye, Hampton. Yeah, I too would like to hear about the good food you had in Santa Fe. I like Santa Fe. There's a lot to like about that place. It is a little, it's becoming a little gentrified, a little paved over, you know, but there's still nice stuff there. What the fuck? Why am I walking slow? Am I... It's because I'm thirsty? Is that really all? Okay. Yep.
Attention.
What?
This is now a combat. You may suffer harm up to any. Why is Rex so powerful? I don't know. I really don't know. A lot of Mexican food. 'Twas good. Did you have a lot of green chilies? Yum, yum, yum. Bougie truck tacos, $30 salad. Yeah. That's definitely, there's definitely some bougie salads in Santa Fe for sure. But like, New Mexican food is second to none. That's like a really specific kind of American cuisine that's very undersung, if you ask me. Not that anybody did. Protect on frenzied? Oh no. What does that mean? They go crazy, right? But I didn't give it a chance. Ugh.
When did this game suddenly become high octane? This game has it all. I gotta heal up. Fuck. Hatch green chilies keep coming up. Shit. Do I have any right away? I do! Nice. Take some Radex also.
And identify yourself. Law-abiding citizens have nothing.
How much can Rex be upgraded? I gotta be honest, I know very little about Rex and his capabilities. I assume we'll learn more. Whoa. The pantry. Okay, next time I'm in New Mexico, I will have to keep that in mind. The pantry. The pantry. In fact, I'm gonna write that down too. My parents live in Albuquerque, so I go to New Mexico fairly often. I've been there. Yeah, I've totally been there. Yeah, the huevos rancheros there. Ooh, super good. Christmas style. Where am I? It's gotta be this way. Nope. This way? Ooh! Oh my. Maybe all American service rifle times 10. Let me know if you want directions. I would love directions, yeah. Fuck! No! Ah! It's fine. I also went on a hike and got sunburned. Hooray! Oh! Okay, it's fine.
I do wish you'd come and met with me at the Lucky 38 when you first arrived on the Strip. Or after you killed Benny, even. Quite an honor you spurned, my invite. You would be the first person to set foot inside the Lucky 38 in over 200 years. But you still wound up here, right where I wanted you.
Okay, fuck it. Do this place. What do you want me to do? Data storage device. Put it in the computer.
That means
so security bots are gonna fucking kill you and your dog. We'll see what happens.
I like to think you have enough sense to do the right thing.
You can think whatever you like.
Commencing lawful use of deadly force.
Fuck! I have to assign my guns again. I forgot. Oh my god. What? Huh? I'm stumped. I'm shook. Where are my guns? Where did they go? I have but one. That ain't even mine. It's fucking Benny's. Where? I would have lost for words. I don't know what to say. Nor do. What do I do? What? This is a bug, right? It's gotta be. That would be the gun that shot you then. Indeed. I hear anguish in this browser tab. No, my companion didn't pair. Well, it did. Eventually, but...
Kaiser has forbidden you to leave until you've killed...
Fine.
Wale.
It's the worst ASMR.
I'll tell you after you get through this quest. Okay, fair. Caesar seized your guns, you'll get them back after you leave. No, that is simply not the case. I had my guns just now. You saw me use them. Epic Maria run. Fuck. I did. I found Maria. The Cooking Gene by Michael W. Twitty. I have that book. Yeah. There's a... I think he, in fact, was a part of this documentary. There's a really, really good documentary about black food styles on Netflix. I wish I could remember what it's called. I really don't. I'm just gonna look at it. Yeah, I don't mind if I take a second to look up a food documentary, do you? Yeah, I used to live in North Carolina, where there's a you know, obviously pretty big black culinary influence. So, somebody bought me that book when I lived there. High on the Hog, yeah, really good documentary. High recommend. Hey, they're back. See? Okay, I'm gonna assign Maria to 1. Pistol to 2. I think I'm gonna get rid of this revolver. In fact, okay, Maria's fine. Doesn't need to be repaired or anything. Okay. Peter, shotgun. We'll do service rifle. Oh no, shit. Okay, and then service rifle, and then submachine gun. What else? Pulse grenade. Could swear I had something else. Oh well. And frag grenade. Alright. And away! Let's quick save real quick. Why do you hate me, Mariana? I don't hate you. Frederick, I like you quite a lot. Ooh, look how pretty this gun is. Ooh. Cute. Oh yeah. It's for me. Fuck Benny. He was just holding it for me. Yeah, Frederick. No one hates you. You're fine. I mean, some people may hate you. I don't know your life, but I don't hate you. I think you're neat. I'm always pleased when you show up in chat. I'm not nice enough to bullshit about that. Another grenade rifle, and you can have the caravan shotgun. Gave the dog cigarettes. It's tough to sell. What you have to understand, Crab with a Knife, is that though a lot of the even a lot of the ingredients of all American cuisine is Native American based and not necessarily African based, unless we're talking about okra, which from what I understand did come from slaves who brought it from Africa. That's not a naturally occurring plant in the Americas, and okra, as you may be familiar, is super fucking important to Southern cuisine. But, like, yes, certainly there were white people cooking. Everybody cooks, whatever. But the way class goes, fewer white people cook than anybody else. It's not a whole lot fewer white people who are cooking, but like upper class white people who were, you know, running running society, and who had money and who determined what culture was and what the cultural identity of any given region was. It was black folks cooking for them. Almost completely in the South. In the North it was different. That was usually Irish folks. But in the South it was black people. Black people were cooking. It wasn't a whole lot of white people cooking for the you know, landowners in the southern states of America. So that's, yeah. And peppers, oh yes. Yeah. I've never been a huge fan of okra, but I've got it growing out in the garden right now. It's coming up, so. You know that joke in Modern Family when Cam went on a diet and asked Mitchell, why do you hate me? Okay, good. So nobody has to be worried. You're okay then, Frederick? I hope so. I do hope you're okay. Everybody loves you. Nobody hates you. I want to say that okra are kind of like in their own genus. I could be so wrong about that, but they really are kind of unlike any other vegetable. Garlic is the best. I'm so excited for my fall garden. I'm gonna grow hella garlic.
Engaging hostile target.
This kind of is turning out to be a Maria run. Okra is related to such species as cotton, cocoa, and hibiscus. That's interesting. Very, very odd vegetable. Very unusual. But yeah, I mean, like all the like all the ingredients that we sort of traditionally think of as American, or at least many of the ingredients we traditionally think of as American, or even European. Fuck, potatoes, tomatoes, chocolate, vanilla. Turkey, corn, squash, a broad variety. Most of the beans that are you know, used in American cuisine. That shit's that shit's Native American, you know. I mean, it truly was a match made in heaven, giving the tomato to the Italian people. Don't get me wrong, but like, what would they have done without the fine people of South America? Ugh. Parasite in Bolivia, no thank you. You could eat 3 heads of crude garlic. You could, yeah. Basically everything people think is white and European American is African, Middle Eastern, or Native American, pretty much. I mean, like, Europeans got livestock, for sure. That's great, you know? I mean, Europeans got, like, pigs and sheep and stuff. But even sheep are African. True, okra is not much of a thing in New England. It's a southern thing because of the slaves. And because, like, okra grows really, really well in heat. Okra loves heat. It needs heat in order to grow, and it's kind of, it's one of the few okras and melons also. This is why also there are so many kind of food stereotypes about black people, right? That like of okra and watermelon and fried chicken and shit. It's like because that was the kind of stuff that grew in the South, and that was the kind of stuff that they subsisted upon while they were sharecropping. Yeah, hella
hella potatoes in the Andes. There's so many different kinds of potatoes. It's pretty astounding, actually. Cows, yeah, cows. Cows are also African. I mean, you know, they're at that point, like sheep and cows are African in a way that like almost doesn't matter because it's like, well, everybody's African at the end of the day. But still. Shit. Fuck. Okay. Okay. It's fine. We saved. So next time, this time, we have to save before. Fuck! No, Rex. Rex, you fucking moron. Okay, this time we have to make it to Rex and tell him to hang the fuck back before we enter this door. Hi, Shofar Kills. Oh, Josie, you all call okra ladyfinger? That is interesting. Thank you. Yeah, there's a bunch of different types of okra in Asia also. Okra is not like solely an African vegetable, but it was brought here from Africa, yeah. The types of okra that we grow, at least. Like there's a bunch of like Asian, like there's like a bunch of Chinese okra I know is like huge, like giant ass okra. It almost looks like zucchini. Where a horse is from originally. Horses I want to say are from Asia. I think they're from Asia. Like northern Asia. I could be totally making this up, but I want to say that's why the Mongols were so successful as long as they were, is because they had horses and were really adept horsemen, and then horses kind of spread out across the continent and into Europe from Asia. Native to Eurasia. Sick. Nice. Sausages are European. Sausages are European. Yeah, Europe's got meat down. Europe's good with meat. Which is something to be proud of. It's very emblematic of what a savage and uncivilized culture that Europe is. like truly. And this is not a shit. Fuck. No, Rex, come back. Oh, fuck. Okay, I gotta pay attention. This is not me. This is not me knocking Europe. Okay. Europe does have its meat provisions down because nothing fucking grows up there. Western Europe, for that reason, because nothing fucking grows up there, was considered by most of the world until like, I don't know. Fuck, I don't know my global history enough to say. But like, for a long ass time, I want to say before, until like, before the first millennium, was considered a fucking rural backwater to the rest of the world. Like, nobody gave a shit about Western Europe. Everything was in the Middle East and China. All of civilization was in the Middle East and China. And nowhere else. North America had a breed of horse that went extinct some whatever 1,000 years ago. Yes, that's part of why horses do so well in North America, is because there is an ecological niche for them, especially now that the bison are gone. Like, they're, having wild horses in an area doesn't like decimate the ecology of that area, because there were once horses in this continent during the last ice age. The Comanche broke off from the Greater Shoshone people after they started using horses, traded in from Euro settlers. Yep.
Da, 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 da. I love horses. I can't. I don't consider myself a horse girl. Because I'm more of a creature girl. You know, it's all animals for me. But being from Oklahoma, I did ride a lot of horses when I was a kid. And a lot of the BLM horse corrals, wild horse corrals, are in Oklahoma. They send them all to Paul's Valley and then auction them off. They'll fucking pay you to take those horses. There's way too many of them in this country. They breed so fast, and there aren't enough predators to take care of them. So they auction them off, and they're super, super cheap. I want one. I want one real bad. Rex is the type of dog that just bolts out the door when given the opportunity to roo. Nobody even paid attention to anything west of Constantinople until they started the Crusades. Yes. So much cabbage they made it into like 10 things. There are native horses in mainland Africa. I mean, there are like quagga and zebras and stuff. It's the same species. But try and ride a zebra and you will discover very quickly that it's not the same. Well, I guess it isn't the same species then. It's the same genus or something. It's the same family. They can interbreed, horses and zebras, but it's really, really fucking hard to tame a zebra. People have tried. It's not easy. Have you ever seen the Hellstrom Chronicle? No. I'll put you off insects for a minute. Horse girls in particular, weird as fuck. Yes, hard agree. Hard agree. Like horses too, even when they bite. They're like big doggies, you know? They're so much fun. They're such dicks. They're like, man. I used to ride this horse. She was so pretty. She was this leopard Appaloosa, but really, really sparsely spotted. She only has a few spots on her butt. And like, you know, when you're like getting your horse ready to ride and whatever, you gotta like brush them down and get the saddle ready and like pick out their hooves. And when you pick out their back hooves, you have to like run your hand down their legs, let them and kind of like kick their knee out. So you can pick up their foot, and that requires you to get pretty low. And when I would do that, this horse would wait until I did that to turn around and bite me in the ass. Zebras don't have a similar pecking order as horses. Every zebra for himself. So yeah, zebras are wild. They are wild animals. It's pretty interesting how the sort of equine form like adjusted itself to how much Africa wants everything dead. But yeah, zebras are like they kind of, it seems to me like they kind of function like schools of fish, you know. But horses have really distinct family units, and that's why we get along with them so well, is because we can fit into we have similar family units. I've never tried to ride a zebra, no. And I would never try. I'm not that stupid. You mean the girl in high school that draws horses, gallops through the hallways? Yes, yeah. It's all right, you know. Horse girls grow up to be perfectly functional members of society more often than not. Are horses sterile? I think they are, yes. Hellstrom Chronicle is a mockumentary narrated by a fictional scientist who's scared of insects. There's a lot of macro photography of insects. It's freaky as shit. That sounds great. Some boy's whole personality is guitar. Yes. I too would like to live like a bonobo. God bless him. Whole thing's on YouTube. Sick. Okay, I'm gonna watch that for sure. Okay. All right. Fucking stay here, you stupid shit. Okay. are you, Rex? Do you need a... I can't tell how... Do you need a stim pack? Here, we have one. Like, dog people really get into dog brains in the same way that horse girls have to for their animals. Yeah, so I mean, see, but like, that's how I am with every animal. I love dogs, I love kitties, I love horses, I love bugs, I love chickens, I love fish, I love reptiles. I love them all. Checked out Tail Foundry out after you mentioned them, then turns out they have made a video on my all-time favorite game, Rain World. Yeah, Tail Foundry has a really great set of writers in a way that makes me kind of jealous and gives me something to strive for, I guess. Like, the creator Benji is he's been a pal of mine for a while. The reason Josie mentions this is because he and I are working on a video for his channel. But he's got his shit down, like he runs a proper company with employees and a bunch of what seems like a sort of stable of enthusiastic Zoomers who tell him about stuff that he wouldn't otherwise know of. That's what I need. Rex tried to eat those bullets like a dog drinks from a sprinkler. Rex, can you not? Oh, shit. Hey. I need to take that rat away again. Born in 1999. I guess I'm technically a Zoomer, but some days I feel 93 years old, man. You're not just technically a Zoomer, you are absolutely a Zoomer. My condolences. Armia's native Z nerd. I may. I gotta make a little more coin so I can actually pay people, and then I'll start hiring out something. Oh, here we go. Ah! Fuck. Well, how do I fix this permanent jam? Is it... Oh. Do I? Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Hey, level up! Let's do 2 in speech. Get that to an even number. We can do... we can do 2 in barter. Get that to number divisible by 5. 3 left. Is there anything with a 2 at the end? No. Okay. Let's do the lockpick. Done. I'm uncertain if there's a right generation if you look at it historically, so I don't know. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. You sound like fun chill noises. crystals and aromatherapy. Whoa. Oh my. Now what do I do? Are they mad at us? Oh my gosh, India buddies! I must have missed something. Oh my god, I gotta take this off. The Discord server, for anybody who's here and doesn't know, you do get an invite. I gotta like reorganize the Patreon to reflect the fact that it is a perk, but also if you go to the streaming channel, like about page, there's a link to the Discord in there. So you don't have to pay me to get access to the Discord anymore. There, I like to have some kind of barrier to entry, just so it's not just any fucking rando. A-rate. Just go back to Caesar. Why don't I do that? Status log. Active. Standby. Okay. Go ahead.
Your work here is done.
Yep.
Return to the Lucky 38 so we can discuss next steps.
All
You
right.
have a very bright future ahead of you. Thanks to your actions today, so does the rest of mankind.
Uh-oh. No good choices! Where are you at the moment? Is that the bunker at Fortification Hill? I don't know the names of anything. Let's check. I guess, yeah. Hey, you fuckers! Ooh, should I shoot them? Let's try it. Fuck you! I had to try. Watch my boyfriend play Marvel Rivals. That's adorable. Bye, Carlos. Thanks for being here. Oh shit! Fuck! No! No! Why did it? Oh no! Shit! Okay. Okay, we're fine now. It's good. It just it took one of my trigger pulls and added it to the new save. Nothing to see here, gentlemen. I'm just gonna go in peace.
You've carried out Caesar's will, but I must confiscate your equipment again.
Fuck you. Keep holdout weapons.
You're free to leave.
More barriers to entry, changed my mind. Yeah, true, but it also keeps folks from third world countries for whom $5 USD is significant money. Also true. That's actually not a bad argument for keeping it the way it is. Yeah, I don't want to gatekeep people too much. But You gotta keep the wackos out, you know. Holdout weapons are like super secret weapons. That I think don't show up under the weapons tab, I guess. I might not have any. All right. What does my quest say? Return to Caesar. All right, let's see what the fucker has to say. We can always I still want to be like roped into more quests for the Legion. I'm more than ready to make them my sworn enemies now. Where's Rex? Oh my god, where's Rex? Just occurred to me, where's Rex? Is he still down there? Oh fuck, he is! It's because I told him to I told him to hang back and now he's still down there. Okay, I gotta go get Rex.
Our way. True to
He is, he's still on the table. I thought he got, I thought maybe he got bugged there, but no. No, it's because I told him to not move and he believed me. Idiot. Fuck, I don't remember where. Fuck. I don't remember where I came from. I don't remember who to talk to go back. Can I just fast travel there? There's Rex. Fuck! I gotta go west and I can't! Shit. What am I gonna do? Oh my god, can you reload? Yes, I can. Good point. Uh-oh. No, I can't. Fuck. What do I do? How to get my stupid dog back? Crab with a knife, you know. How do I get back there? Dismiss all companions at Lucky 38 or gun runners. Okay. Alright, that's okay. I guess that's an option. I wonder if I can just go ahead and fast travel there now. Let's try it. God. Makes me angry. Crab with the knife. A terrible thing has happened. I accidentally left Rex inside Mr. House's stupid vault or whatever. I told him to stay behind, and I forgot to tell him he could follow me again. And he's still there, and I can't get back there because the Legion takes you there. How do I get my dog back? I'm currently trying to go to Lucky 38 and have them dismiss all companions and hope that will fix it. You can't go back. Great. How? Oh, I forgot there's a vault here. That's so fun. Didn't ask me to send any companions away, so maybe if I... Okay.
Congratulations, partner.
Okay, good. Dismiss all
The boss
companions.
has
Good.
instructed me to comp you to the high roller suite. You can bring your friends too. Be like a little clubhouse for the gang you put together. Just bear in mind, you're the only one gets to see the boss. Any friends you got, they can wait in the suite. Enjoy the digs, partner. They're plenty fancy.
Penthouse.
Penthouse floor.
Fuck.
Where to, partner?
Dismissing all companions might be more efficient than taking the boat ride back to the bunker. Great. That's great. But nobody told me to
Casino
dismiss
floor.
all companions this time, so. What do I do? Ah.
Where to, partner?
That terminal beside the elevator. Okay. Ah ha ha! Yes, I do. There we go. Okay. Now I'll go get my dog. And then we can go back to Caesar and listen to whatever the fuck it is he has to say. Dismiss all companions to the gunrunner's terminal also. Good to know. Hey! Fuck you!
Like that?
Where's my... my fucking guns, dude. Oh my god! Okay, Maria it is. Ah! Jesus! Nope. One more. Yeah, shot a man in the back. Whatever. War criminal. This high school teacher, he shoved his head up his own ass after the apocalypse is lore, right? Caesar? I think so. Right. It's kind of a... It's kind of... Negan-pilled, no? That's the same thing Negan did.
Come to Mick and Ralph.
Went to a wedding and I had to wear this long shirt and it looked so straight. Rip.
am I doing? There we go. Okay. I was kind of wishy-washy about using this camera, but every time it fails, it makes a really loud noise. Very, very easy for me to realize when the camera has gone gay. The fuck? This is wrong. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing! God, what a pretty gun. Man, I'm so glad Benny's dead. This gun is for me. What camera is it? It's a Canon SL3 or something. It's fairly old by camera standards. I bought it in 2021. Are the color bars gay? that is what people have taken to calling it, yeah. Hi, Rex! Ooh, don't go, boy! Let's go, let's go, let's go! You gotta think about people with hats. We're on the same side! Calm down! Yo! So we're gonna get any fixed. I think we should travel together! Come on! Yay! Okay. How you feeling? Oh. Come on. Let's go. You're coming too, right? Come on. Come on. Okay, good. There we go. So you haven't gotten mirrorless yet. No, no mirrorless cameras for me. Someday, maybe. Cameras are expensive, you know? Man. When I got here, I had really big plans to start a new channel. It's more like a videography channel.
By order of Caesar, all visitors must disarm and relinquish all banned items. With the fish tank I bought, I was gonna do basically like a reef channel. Fish tank YouTube is a whole different kind of YouTube, you know. And I was gonna get a fancier camera, but shit's just too expensive. And then like, there's absolutely no telling where the economy is going to go and how bad exactly things are going to get. And also just like, to be honest, like thinking about buying saltwater fish and coral and stuff and making a reef tank when all those things are actively dying and swiftly going extinct, just like the thought of looking at that every day, and like all the beauty that used to exist in abundance around the world that is just increasingly not, and is increasingly going to be pretty much sequestered to hobbyists like me and industrial fish breeding and coral farming, which is necessary. I think like it's good that there is a really robust coral farming and reef fish farming enterprise out there, because otherwise that shit truly is going to go extinct. But it just makes me sad. So I don't know, maybe someday. Awe, true to Caesar.
What is considered a banned item?
Alcohol and all chems, including stims and other addictive items.
They're so boring. I have to bring them congenital heart defect.
I know not why Caesar would wish to speak with such a physically inferior whelp, but I will allow this one exception.
God, they're such
you
fucking
may bear
dorks.
Caesar's mark, but do not attempt to share any of your medicine with anyone in the fort.
Okay, fine.
Your belongings will be returned to you when you leave.
Okay. Okay, I have a snacky. Let's eat this pepper.
this gecko steak. And this mute fruit. Whoa. Oh, it's because my weapons are all gone. Duh.
Are we true to Kaiser?
Is there religion talk happening in my chat? I must have missed the catalyst. Sorry. Otherwise, I would have offered my opinion. I'm great at offering my opinion. It's one of my real strengths. Offering my opinion and salting to taste. One second, y'all. Had to reply to a particularly kind YouTube comment. Have you done the Honest Hearts DLC? I have, and I will. That was, I think, the only DLC in my last playthrough that I completed in full. It's very fun. I'm always a huge fan of the DLCs that take you to a completely different place, you know. I love Far Harbor. It's so fucking cool. I just love it.
You must enter Kaiser's tent alone. Anyone else must remain outside.
Your opinion is your profession at this point, basically. Oh, man. It makes me nervous. Okay, I gotta catch up on this conversation. It sounds interesting. Oh, I see. Discussing the value of worldly possessions given that we all will perish. Ah, yes. A classic. Hi, Fractal Dactyl. You're coming in here just at the end. Joshua Graham bestows you una pistola guapa at the end of the DLC, assuming you don't end him first. And I won't. Joshua Graham is goated. He's super cool. He hates Caesar almost as much as I do. I'm bad about possessions. I don't know about bad. I don't, like, let's not moralize it, but like, I have a hard time not finding meaning in my stuff because most of my stuff was either given to me or acquired, you know, during the course of a meaningful event or mean something. This is the reason I have so many books, you know. It's because, like, yeah, I need them for research, but also, like, books sort of represent a time in my life, and that's important to me. I find it very difficult to rid myself of material possessions, which is, I don't know if it's a character flaw, but I do think it's kind of emblematic of the cultural position that I'm in. I don't know, as an American, as a denizen of the 21st century, I'm really not sure. But I'm not sure, on the other hand, that so this is a weird thing, right? Like, I've thought before about if a tornado hit my house, right? That would suck because I don't have renter's insurance.
But other than that, I'd be okay. Like, I wouldn't be, I wouldn't mourn my objects, you know. I'd mourn my garden and the ground that I'm cultivating out there. I would mourn any of my animals that died. I don't think I'd care very much about my shit, you know. That's just stuff. But it's weird. It's like there's a difference between a natural disaster coming in and just like sweeping the board clean and you making the decision to get rid of stuff. That's like, for whatever reason, that decision is really difficult for me. Anyway.
You must enter Kaisar's tent alone. Anyone else must remain outside.
I just hate owning things because it makes moving expenses bigger. Oh, ain't that fucking
You must
true.
enter Kaisar's
Okay,
tent.
fine, fuck. Yeah. Oh god, especially since my grandfather passed and left me all of his stuff, and he had like really good taste and and a bunch of really cool stuff. Moving for me has gotten very complicated indeed. Much more complicated than anybody as poor as me should have to go through. Some things you own are special, exclusively to you. Some things are valuable to the whole of humanity, and you happen to own them. Yeah. Definitely. Animals are different, not even necessarily in the category of possessions. Exactly, yeah. I'd feel very sad for them in the way that I wouldn't feel sad about just stuff. Oh god. Earthquakes are so fucking scary.
Some of the slaves have been
My
spreading
cat's destroyed an
stories
external
about
hard
the
drive with all my
Birdman.
music on it, and I fell into a deep depression. Aww. I mean, that's interesting though, right? Because it's like, I don't know, maybe you did make that music and maybe you didn't. I don't know. I kind of imagine this hard drive of yours as being like a, basically a large scale, mixtape. But like even that, like has something of you, right? Like imprinted onto it, which is interesting. Something weird about the word pet. Yeah, it is. In the same way that like, yeah, it's a little bit demeaning, pet. They're my friends, you know? My dog is practically my sister. Like, that's closer, a more accurate description of the relationship I have with my dog than just like a glorified toy, which is what the word pet denotes to me. Yeah, they're my friends that I own and take care of. Yep. Hot take. PETA is good, actually. Most of the bad things people say about them are propaganda by corporate interests opposed to animal rights. I don't know very much about PETA, to be quite honest with you. But I am something of an animal liberationist. I do eat meat, but I think that there are more and less ethical ways to do that, and we should strive to the more ethical direction whenever possible. And the way society structures meat eating right now is not ethical at all. It's quite the opposite. It's really, really bad.
I felt the ground shake a while ago.
Anyway.
I'll take that as a sign you've got the job done. Let's press on, shall we? As I was telling you before, I want Mr. House out of the picture. You have an interest in his death, too. If he knows that you destroyed his gadgets beneath the fort, he will strike back. You know where to find him. How he
Sweet.
dies, I leave up to you.
Awesome. Willingly steward for your mutual benefit. PETA does have some weird messaging. I don't think their PR is especially effective. Oh, see, yeah, that's sad. Music for my friends' collections too. They've since gotten lost or gotten rid of. Yeah, things you can never get back. That's always sad. And also because like that hard drive is an experience, and it's like evocative of, you know, and like I have certain items that kind of do that for me for sure. So, you know, especially since I have so much of my grandfather's stuff and so much of his interests sort of coincided with mine. Like he owned
Native American art gallery back when that was like an okay thing for white people to do, and had a bunch of like he had this incredible collection of Hopi kachinas that I inherited, and a bunch of like he was genuinely interested in like he wouldn't have known that this is what it was called, but he was genuinely interested in anthropology and had a like, you know, I inherited similarly a bunch of like, you know, Native American anthropology books from him. And yeah, that shit's important to me. But you know, like that I feel like that case is slightly easier for me because the sort of the nature of native native forms of ownership, conceptualizations of ownership, and especially the fact that like kachinas are deities, like not the dolls themselves, but the thing that they represent is a deity. It's intangible. It's not like the thing is, it's just a piece of wood, you know, which is comforting to think about, that like it's just a thing. It's just a thing. But I think that's different from music, which is ultimately intangible, you know? That sucks. I'm sorry. Did you say your cat destroyed that? Oh, you must have been so mad. Certain things we own that we give a personality and become very personal to us, like my guitar. Yeah, you know, this is like, I don't know, it might be worth exploring a little more what I said in the Final Destination video. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of space to go into it from there, but I think it's really interesting how humans personify things, you know? It's like, it's kind of, it might be our most adorable quality. It's really cool, you know, that like we have to humanize things. We have to like turn literal inanimate objects that we know don't feel anything. We have to apply some kind of personification to them because we get some kind of meaning out of that. It's super interesting and cool, I think, you know. I have some questions.
What did you want to know?
Humans are super cute and super terrifying at the same time, yeah. Your bodyguard's special in any way?
My Praetorians embody the martial ideals of my legion. Each one of them has done enough conquering and killing to deserve the rank of Centurion. Instead, I invited them to join my guard. So the invitee chooses whichever current guard he thinks is weakest and challenges him. The fight is to the death. It keeps them from getting complacent.
That is kind of sick. Very Sithy. How long has Lucius been the head of your Praetorians?
Lucius has been the head of my guard for 5 years now. He was a subordinate guard for 8 before that. No invitee has dared to challenge him yet. Maybe it's an issue of respect. He is getting on in years.
Humane home backyard beekeeping. So is PETA. Is PETA pro or anti beekeeping? Let's find out. But saving the bees doesn't mean breeding honeybees and stealing their honey. Much of the backyard beekeeping is pretty cringe already. Rooted in speciesism is backyard beekeeping doesn't save the bee. I mean, they are 1,000% correct about this. One of the really insidious things about organic pesticides, or like bee safe pesticides, is that they only test them on European honeybees, and there are thousands of species of bees. We have no idea how pesticides affect them. Probably poorly, you know. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it is misinformation. I don't think like it kind of seems like PETA would. I mean, listen, I know very little about PETA, but it kind of seems like PETA would not be satisfied until humans can photosynthesize. Basically, you know, humans have to eat. I will push back just slightly on on woke cough drop saying human beings are the aliens. We aren't real, just like Israel. No, human beings are real, and we deserve to be here as much as anybody else deserves to be here. We are very, very capable of not only living in balance with ecosystems or whatever, but improving ecologies. We do it all the time. There are so many societies that have been, you know, demonstrably improving and facilitating the health of the ecologies that they live in. We are very, very capable of doing that now. You know? Yeah, commercially bred honeybees aren't bad. They do a lot of good as pollinators, but they can't replace pollination for every single species that needs it. Just talk about something else.
What else did you want to know?
Bug populations in general are getting kind of fucked. Yeah, it's not great. Tell me about Vulpes inculta.
Vulpes is the best of my frumentari. A remarkable individual from an unremarkable tribe south of the Utah. He was brought into the Legion as a boy, survived training, fought well enough as a legionary to be promoted to the rank of decanus. Then in battle against an unimportant tribe.
But the mosquitoes or the ticks, those fuckers looking nice. Yeah, the worst bugs. Sucks.
He broke ranks and led his contubernum through a hole in their defenses to capture its chieftain. Well, his Kenturian wanted him crucified for disobedience, so I made him a frumentari.
What do the frumentari do?
Whatever I require. Infiltration, assassination, dramatic atrocities to break the spirit of the enemy, etc. They're mentally flexible. They operate behind enemy lines for extended periods, imitating the enemy's customs without becoming sullied. In all these things, Vulpes is a master.
When I went to college, first year we had fireflies everywhere, and by the time I left, you were lucky to see one on a good night. Yeah, there were so many in Illinois when I lived there. But, like, a lot of these things are very easily reversible. You can really easily fix this. A lot of firefly populations are bouncing back. Sea turtle populations have improved this year. Like, hey man, you know, all hope is not lost. But like, we gotta accept that we are a part of this world, you know, instead of just dooming about it.
What else then?
Sea turtles have received hella good PR, it's true. Oh, what's that machine in your tent?
It's called an autodoc. As the name suggests, it's an automated physician, more or less. It can treat broken bones, cuts, punctures, scrapes. Sometimes I bestow its use upon someone I favor. Makes for a powerful gift in a culture that forbids painkillers and is largely ignorant of medical science.
Shark PR is looking real bad right now, I know. Oh, I hate thinking that. Bye!
Complete your mission and return to me.
I will not. I probably won't ever see you again until the day I kill you. There's no ethical concern when it comes to eating honey. It's totally ethical food. Ethical as food is concerned. Yeah, hard agree. Like, super dumb to argue that eating honey is like exploitative of bees who, I'm so sorry, live in a hive and serve a queen. What are bees?
the slaves have been spreading stories about the burned man again.
Yeah, my thought also. I also wondered if this was a guy, but I think it's not. I think these are cows. I think these are Brahmin. They have hooves. More recent research indicates that they actually do think collectively, and the queens are just ovaries of the hive. Interesting. That actually does make more sense. That's cool and all, but I think there genuinely is something to be said for an animal being so completely alien in function and form that to exploit them is like a dubious concept in itself. You know what I mean? I did know they actually have a very complex method of communication. It's extremely cool. Their little dances, it's so cute. Yeah, bees are great. That's my opinion. Bees, pretty cool.
Our way. True to Kaisar.
Like octopi. Octopuses. I will be a pedant about that. It's a Greek root, not a Latin root. Octopuses are. The reason I don't include octopuses in that category is because they actually have sort of independently evolved in such a way that they are pretty similar to us. Like they're physiologically obviously completely different. They have 3 hearts. Like their consciousness is like kind of like weirdly distributed throughout their bodies, so that you can chop an octopus arm off and it'll just like go around and continue to do octopus things, and it'll just die because it starves, you know, that kind of shit. There's so many forms of intelligence, but they do demonstrate really human like behaviors and impulses. Like they're really curious and they love to play, and you can make friends with an octopus. And I think like, to me, that's kind of the sticking point where the possibility of really severely exploiting an animal in a way that you really have to be careful of becomes evident to me. That like, if you are kind of like exploitation, to me kind of seems like it's a function of betrayal, you know? Like, that's like, you can only exploit something if you are betraying it, kind of. If you are making friends with a creature on false pretenses, you know, that like you've made friends with this creature and then you're gonna kill it. You've made friends with this creature and then you're gonna force it to do labor for you, and it has no ability to get away from that situation. That's what exploitation means to me. And so I think we're more than capable of doing that to octopuses. Like whether it's incumbent upon us to like treat anything as human just because we are capable of making friends with it, I don't know. But that's probably just because I think chicken is delicious. So. Yeah, crows can recognize you and be friends with you. I would love crow. Love to make friends with the crow. Really good to make friends with the crows if you have livestock, especially chickens, because crows are notorious sworn enemies of hawks, and if you make friends with the crows, they'll chase all the hawks away. Octopuses should be considered honorary mammals, yeah.
I like it when someone keeps octopus as pets. I would if I could. So the other thing about octopuses is that they only live for like 2 years. And I don't know. I don't know how much an octopus can discover in 2 years that I'm keeping them from. I think it's fine to grow an animal to eventually eat it if you're not ruining its life in the process. Yes, that's part of the exploitation. For sure. Definitely. I would feel bad about... There are aliens. The ocean's fucking crazy. That's why I love fish. I would feel... I couldn't kill any of my chickens to eat them.
Our way, true to Kaiser.
But I'll buy chickens that are raised in the same manner as my chickens that have had happy, lives with their chicken friends and doing chicken things and eating bugs and eating grass and, doing chicken gossip and whatever. And I'd buy slaughtered chickens from my neighbor's chicken farmer. I'm gonna buy all my chicken from her in the future. And it's like, there's no question that that's better than buying from a factory farm, obviously. So obviously there's like some kind of sliding scale of ethicism that we can apply to this situation at least. Heartbreak speedrun, yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, apparently I'm recording my podcast Wednesday instead of Thursday like I thought. Oh well. Just okay. I've been held by an octopus before, I can tell you. It feels like you're being held captive. They can taste with their skin. And not just normal shit too, they can taste your hormones and shit. So if an octopus holds you, it may indeed know more about you than you know about yourself. Even the mid to large size octopuses only live a few years. Yep. In the wild, they live until they breed, but they breed really soon. I've not heard of these mysterious long-lived octopuses. I would like to know about them. So is hunting the most ethical way to get your meat? Almost certainly, yeah. A friend of mine believed her chicken knew when it was their time and they were okay with it. Yeah, man, who knows? There's so little we know. You know? Ethical is such a dubious term. Least amount of suffering, in what context? Physical pain, mental anguish. Yeah, it's super complicated, I think. There are very few situations that can just be given a blanket ethical standard. If you could turn into another animal besides humans, what would you be? Oh, crow. No question. They'll fucking survive the apocalypse. Oh, it's a beautiful video of a woman killing a chicken, and the way she talks and the care she takes in making sure it's done well. It's such a nice thing to watch. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, I think that one thing we're sort of missing in our culture, like, it's a matter of respect, right? Like, if you just choose to not look at the thing being killed that you're eating because it makes you feel bad, then you're not respecting the thing you're eating. And you should, if you can't like go vegan or whatever, you should at least be able to respect that something died in order for you to have your dinner or whatever. Like something died that had a life of its own and had relationships and preferences and all the things that you have at your core, you know. having destroyed the wolf population, yep, totally, and bear and cougar, we are kind of ecologically obliged to control the deer population. It's true. If it, like overpopulations of deer is devastating to an ecology. Desacralization needs to be undone. Hell yeah. Desacralization. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. I gotta find a good deer source here. Oh, they are cute though. They are very cute. Chickens are also cute. Pigs are also cute. Cows are cute. They're all cute. Okay, I'm gonna take off. It's 9. I gotta eat. I'll be back Thursday, and we shall continue. Good night, everybody. I too am in favor of wolf reintroduction and cultural rehabilitation of them. Hard agree. I co-sign that. Yeah, not cut and dry at all. I will always prefer the idea of like an animal that lived life on its terms and had a really bad day. That was, you know, and a death that was more than likely instant instead of the horrifying and gory and or, you know, disease-ridden death that it would have had otherwise. There's a lot to be said for hunting. It's not a bad thing at all, I don't think. Especially since it's a deeply culturally important thing, which, as we all know, I'm certainly in favor of. Did I already save? I did, right? Oh my god. Help. Okay, I did. Why the fuck wasn't there venison in grocery stores when we had that first big deer overpopulation at the turn of the century? I don't know, but my guess is that it was because when they were dealing with that